All right, let's talk about light mechs, which is something that I never really appreciated much as a kid until there was one special con game. And I'm going to talk about my favorite light mech because it was the one introduced to me at that con game, the Spider. Now, I'd never seen the Spider played before. By the way, hello everyone. My name is Preston Poulter and welcome to my YouTube channel, Lords of Iron. I had seen the Locust, the Wasp, and the Stinger, and, hooray. But about this time, this was kind of getting a little bit towards the late 80s. We had a very experienced play group. In the convention scene, we already had, kind of our gang versus the rival gang, Tough Days and the Battletech hood. But one thing we had all gotten in on was, of course, trying to outgeek each other. So we had these big canvas mats that we'd painted and then ironed on this hex pattern. And then you could put in your 3D terrain, which was styrofoam, also painted and cut into neat little hex shapes so that you could place your terrain, build your little mountains. So as you can imagine, we had some very large maps that we were dealing with. And this scenario was, okay, you guys start over there on that end of the map, and it was kind of, you can imagine, like an equilateral triangle. You guys will start over on that end of the map, and then the train that you're supposed to get to was here on this end of the map. And the rules were every player got a heavy mech. Now, me, I had a brother, I had a cousin. We tended to all play together. That was part of one gang. But our rival faction did not show up to that specific scenario. In fact, one of them was running it. So I was chosen as the least popular member of my family unit to go over to the other side and to be with the baddies. And so there I am at a convention. I'm pretty sure my brother and cousin are probably going to win this thing. I've got, random convention players. And this one guy, I was sure, was guaranteed my absolute loss when he goes, I can get up to a heavy mech, I'll take a spider. Why would you do that? And in general, this kind of begs the larger question. What is the role of Recon Mechs in the whole thing? And if we're really playing one lance just needs to blow up the other lance, Recon Mechs are not exactly the greatest. Although, if we now have the new battle value system, which we did not have back in the 80s, well, I could see, hey, you're just adding up to the unit totals, and it's nice to have a small, fast unit. But here, or everybody could take a heavy. This guy took a spider, and at first we scoffed, but about 3 rounds into it, when he just raced across the board, got to the train, was like, oh, what's the victory objective? Found out what the victory objective was and accomplished it before the other side could really get there. You can imagine the look on my brother's face as we took home first place. Thanks almost exclusively to the spider. After that, I never questioned the wisdom of taking light mechs instead of heavy mechs, as long as it can move 8-12-8, which is pretty astounding. By the way, there was a comment, I did a review of the Battletech video game, been playing a lot of that, and somebody said, yeah, it's pretty good at capturing the board game, except for the 2-hit numbers, which are way too high in the computer game. And yeah, in the computer game, you can be hitting at like 90% with your entire weapons package, and that's not something you're going to see in the board game, really. And also, okay, if you got a spider in it, jumped 8 hexes, well, that's +4, and typically it would be jumping to medium range on a mech. So your 2-hit rolls are going to be like 10 plus whatever the terrain is, plus your movement. They're going to be kind of hard to hit. Whereas in the computer game, you can add sensor locks and all kinds of other stuff and just kind of blow up the small mech. So that's one where the utility of a recon unit is going to be different in terms of the board game versus the computer game. I checked out the variants on the spider. They all suck. The best spider is the one with 2 medium lasers. It doesn't need machine guns. It doesn't need a flamer. This has been Preston Poulter with Lords of Iron. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Take care.